We're back. I'm finally home after 2 weeks in the US. I've had a great time. I've done some teaching and had some family time with my brother who lives in DC, and my parents showed up there as well for Thanksgiving. So I've had a wonderful time, but I've missed my dogs so much, and especially Spam. It feels like I was almost nervous to meet her again because it felt like we'd been apart for so long, but she definitely remembered me and she was very excited to see me because she was ready to do some training. While I've been away, she's been in the best possible hands. Thomas has taken care of her a little bit, but mostly she spent about a week with my good friend Jessica. Jessica has 4 dogs, 3 border collies and a duck toller, and Spam has done a great job blending into their family. She's really a social genius from growing up with all different types of grown-up dogs in our house. She even got her half-sister Ivy to like her, and Ivy does not like other dogs that much, and especially not puppies, but they really hit it off. So I'm excited to see that she can just go into a new pack of dogs and be socially very, very smart. One of the reasons that I was very excited to let Jessica take care of Spam for a week is that Jessica is a very good dog trainer who specializes in building confidence in dogs that need it. So she's the author of this amazing book. It's in Swedish. It's called Motiveradehundar, or How to Make Your Dog into a Superhero. So it's all about how you can use positive reinforcement methods to build confidence in a dog that might be worried or lacking confidence. Now, Spam is not a worried dog that lacks in confidence, but I feel like it's so much easier to prevent problems from happening and also just build on all the good things that she's showing. So I was really excited to see what types of exercises Jessica would choose to work on with Spam and to give me some inspiration for her training into superhero dog. Some of the things that I've been thinking about that are important to me is that Spam is happy to go with me everywhere. That's probably the most important thing in her everyday life training. I want to be able to travel with her. I want to be able to bring her in the car when I'm teaching or when we go to a trial, but I also would really, really love to be able to fly with her. And flying can be very stressful. I think the hard things are probably when the dog has to go into a crate and then be left by me and handled by other people. So there will be new, strange people handling the crate. There will be a new environment and a lot of strange sounds. I think being on the airplane is probably not the worst thing, but definitely all the handling around is what's stressful for most dogs. Some of my dogs have done great with flying. My Cocker Spaniel Shapa was the perfect traveling companion. She was always happy when she got to an airport because she knew it was about to be me time, where it was just her and I, and we would do fun things, and she was really excited about that. Spam's father, Epic, is also a very, very nice dog to travel with. He's confident, he's not afraid of anything, he's very social, and he hasn't had any trouble flying. Some of my other dogs have not liked it as much, so they don't have to. But I would really, really like to help Spam get the confidence where she would like to come with me, like to go on an airplane and go on adventures with me. So those are the things that I find most important in building her confidence. Making sure that she's okay with sound, new places, new people, and unsteady surfaces, like when someone picks up her crate to put her in an airplane. So that's where my focus in her superhero training will be. For an agility dog, there's also things like the seesaw that moves and makes noise that some dogs will react to. In my experience, it's fairly easy to get them to overcome that, even if they are more the worried type, as long as you've got great reinforcement and a lot of drive to work. Of course, it's always better to prevent, and I wouldn't want her to be worried about seesaws or anything happening in agility. So I will definitely do some work on things that move and things that make noise. And Jessica started that with her and she did perfectly. So I'm really confident that that will not be a problem for her. And I'm also very happy that she was socially really good with both people and all kinds of other dogs. She met her first French bulldog and looks like she was a little bit worried at first, but she figured it out. And I'm excited that she got this opportunity to meet a lot of new friends. As soon as I got home, I was really excited to get started with some training. There are some things that I put on hold because I didn't want to start something new until I got back from this trip, but now we have started a few new things. First of them was to get her to jump into my lap. That's something that none of my dogs have ever known, and it's just felt uncomfortable both to me and to my dogs, I guess. But I really wanted Spam to learn how to jump into my lap. And I also thought it was a good thing to start because Thomas told me when I got back that she did not like to be caught. Like if he wanted her to come or he wanted to take her into the house or into the car, she could be avoidant if she felt that he wanted to catch her. So I thought instead of teaching her to be caught, why not teach her to jump into my lap and make that a fun game? So the first night when I got home, I started some shaping on just climbing onto my lap while I was on her red pillow that she's been on many times. That worked all right. It was difficult to handle both clicker and treats while she was on my lap. So for my third session, I asked Thomas to be a stand-in lap so that she could work on getting into his lap while I was clicking and rewarding. And that went okay, but I still felt like that we weren't really progressing with the training. So for my last session that day, I just got a toy out and encouraged her to get on my lap and rewarded her with the toy. I was also sitting up more in this training and it went great. We had so much fun and she learned how to jump into my lap, and then I would throw a toy and she could retrieve it, and she's actually retrieving very nicely as long as it's a toy that's not too exciting. So that was really fun. I then progressed too quickly, so I tried to get more upright and I think I scared her because since that session she's been more reluctant to jump into my lap, so I've had to take a few steps back, but we're getting back to that point. But I was just reminded of how important it is to not rush this type of training, and there's no need to. She's 14 weeks old, so it's not realistic that she will jump into my arms when I'm standing upright at this point. So I don't know why I wanted to rush it. I was just so excited that she was doing it and I just wanted to progress, but that was a mistake, and now I have to work hard to regain her confidence. Second thing that I was really excited about starting is teaching her to circle a cone. So this is the behavior that I use to teach left and right tight turns in agility. So it's a very important behavior to me, and I want to get started fairly early so that I can start adding a cue and working with all types of distractions. My goal for this first step is to shape her to do a tight turn around the cone and to keep turning until I reward. So I want her to be able to do more than one circle around the cone. I want her to be able to do it both on my right, going counterclockwise, and on my left, going clockwise. And as soon as she starts to get that, I want to make sure that she can do it regardless of my position, so that it doesn't matter which side she's on, it doesn't matter how I'm moving or my position. I want her to be able to repeat that behavior. I don't care about speed, so I will not encourage speed in this. I want her to be thoughtful and rather have her work with bending her spine, putting her feet down nicely, than just rushing into tight turns. I think that slower turning is good for their physical development, and I also think that maybe doing too much fast turns for puppies not really great for their physical development. So slow, steady, but tight turns around the cone is my first goal. Another thing that I want to be careful with is that I don't want her to touch the cone. I want her to be careful with jump wings and jumps, and the cone is really just the first step to a jump wing. So I will try to not encourage any touching of the cone, and it's really, really hard. That is one of my goals that I have for her first step. So this is something that we'll play with for a few weeks before I think we're ready to put a cue on it. It might take more than weeks, it might take months, but I just want to get a fluent, repeated turning around the cone. So that's very exciting. One thing that I haven't started yet, but I feel like I really, really should, is starting crate games, or just teaching her to get in a crate and liking it. She hasn't been in a crate except for in the car, and she isn't crazy about going in the car. So that's definitely something that I will need to work on and work hard on if I want her to be excited about going on trips with me and flying with me. And it's also a really, really good way of starting watching other dogs work and waiting for her turn. So that's definitely something that I'll start this weekend or beginning of next week. Just get a crate in our training room, work on her happily going into the crate and waiting for a release word. It's really just the same thing that we've done with her pillow, just with walls and a roof. And I hope that she feels the same way and doesn't get scared or suspicious about the crate. That's why it's good to start as early as possible before they have any association with the crate, meaning they'll be locked up or go into the car. She's been in the car, so she might have some of those associations, but I don't use a crate in the house, so she's not used to being locked in a crate. So I think she'll be fine, but I'm excited to see how this will work, and if I need to break it down further and maybe use a soft crate or just the bottom of a crate, or just do more of her pillow games. Spam really is the perfect puppy in the house, which is so nice, and I kind of feel like I have not deserved a puppy this nice. Look at her sleeping. She's just sleeping whenever nothing's happening. Sometimes she's a pain, sometimes she has ideas, and sometimes she makes noise when she is overstimulated or restless, but most of the time she just falls asleep. She is pretty much housebroken. I don't want to call a 14-week-old puppy housebroken because I don't think you can be at that age, but she does tell me when she needs to go out. And if I don't respond right away, she'll still wait and tell me again. She hasn't had an accident in the house for a few weeks. Not when she was with Jessica, not here with me. And really, there's nothing special that I've done to accomplish this. I think that she is just a very easy puppy right now. I'm sure that we will have our share of challenges, but right now I'm just so grateful to have a puppy that can be loose in the house, that can be alone if I need to do something with the other dogs, that sleeps a lot, that sleeps all through the night loose in the bedroom, that gets along with the other dogs and has really good social skills. And I just feel very, very lucky, and I almost wish that I had some more problems to report for our puppy diary, but right now we're just in a very, very good place. There are things definitely that we need to work on. Her herding other dogs on walks, I wouldn't say it's better or worse since last time. I really haven't had time to work on it. Her being afraid of cars, might be a thing of the past, because Thomas told me that she started herding cars when he went to the vet a few weeks ago. I haven't tried putting her in traffic again. I need to be ready for it and have a plan on what to do, and that's something that I want to share. But we're fortunate enough to not have a lot of traffic here, so she doesn't really see traffic unless I put her in that situation, which is a huge benefit because it means that I can choose when and where I want to train her. If you live in a city, you don't have that luxury. You need to take care of it right away. But for me, I can take my time, and sometimes I feel like just not exposing Border Collie puppies to traffic is one of the best way to keep them from herding cars. But definitely I want to be prepared, and I want to have a training plan for that, because I know that if we have to go into traffic and I haven't trained on it, it might be a disaster. And chasing or herding cars is one of the most dangerous things that Border Collies do. It's one of the most common causes of death for Border Collies. So it's really, really important to me that she doesn't think about chasing cars or herding cars, because that could be life-threatening. So that's something that I need to take care of, and I need to have a plan, and I will share the process with you.